Well, it's about 9:30 in the evening, and we finally have gotten settled in here at Beaver Flat Campground out on Highway 66 in Kananaskis Country. We were a bit late getting started from home. Didn't get out of work quite on time like we hoped, so that's all right. We got settled in, and this is a really nice campground. Let's take a quick spin around here before we settle in and eat a late dinner. So it's quite nice. We've got mountain view there off on the front side of the campground. Site was nice and level, so we didn't really need to do much for leveling down Boler. Emily is here, Mabel is here. We've got the propane fire pit on the go, and I want to show you this. Unlike the last video, I actually have the propane hose for the Canadian Tire Special barbecue. And this is a new gadget I am trying out on this camping trip. I've got a propane splitter here on the tank so that I can run 2 appliances at once. So far it seems to be working well. It's nice, it has a built-in gauge so I can see how much propane is left in the never-ending propane tanks that I can never get rid of. And one half running to the grill, which Mabel is inspecting, and the other half running over to the propane fire pit. So that's a pretty nice little setup for the night. And I don't know if I will regret this later tomorrow when all the bugs come out, but there's a nice little kind of pond marsh area right beside our campsite. So you have a feeling Emily will be hunting for some frogs at some point this weekend. And I don't know if it'll come through on the camera, but maybe if I zoom in and it'll change the exposure. No, it doesn't look like you can see it, but a little bit there. The moon is already peeking through up above us, so that's kind of cool. So we'll do a little further exploration and see where we end up tomorrow. But for now, I guess this is our 4th camping trip with Bella the Boler. So we're starting to get it down to a science now, and time to grill up some hot dogs on the barbecue and eat. It is the morning and it's a little bit chilly, but we survived another night in Bella the Boler and we didn't even need to run the furnace.
Slept great. We were pretty tired after a long day yesterday.
You bet. So we're just getting some breakfast preparations underway here before we start checking things out. So ye old Coleman camp stove going there. The coffee's on one side, the toast is on the other, and I see the toast is starting to smoke and the coffee has been perking for a while, so it's probably done. We got ye old fire pit going here just to take some chill off the campsite this morning, but take a look at that view. The sun is out, the mountain is there staring us and greeting us this morning. We got our beautiful little pond here, which so far, again, hasn't really been an issue in terms of bugs or anything, so that's good. So, yeah, great morning out in Kananaskis Country.
Coffee is how we do this. My hands are so cold. Campfire coffee is always so good.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Nice dark coffee. Oh, that's good stuff. So if there's one thing Emily and I have never agreed on, it's the proper doneness of bacon. This is my style of bacon. I want it to be floppy. I barely want it to be cooked. Just enough to kind of kill any germs on it, but I want it soft and chewy. And
if I can't hold it like this, it's not crispy enough.
yeah, if it doesn't turn to sawdust as soon as she stabs it with a fork, it's not done enough for Emily. So we'll never agree on that, but oh well, that's pretty minor. Thank you, Mabel. It feels like it's been a long time since I actually strapped on the backpack to try and do any sort of hiking. Last time when we did that little hike up Grizzly Creek there, I made Emily carry her pack because she was the only one prepared. But this time we're both prepared. We got our bear spray, we got our GPS. I got my custom-made out for the hunt hiking stick. Thank you, Brian, out of High River, for making these. And yeah, we are ready. We're gonna start doing a little hike up old, it's an abandoned road, probably from forestry exploration back in the day, and see if we can find a couple caches before, looks like it might rain, so we'll see how far we get before the rain comes in and messes things up. All right, this should be fun, trying to get across this mud hole. Somehow I don't think the dog is gonna stay, nope, clean nor dry. Oh my God. And we're a disaster and we've just barely crossed the highway. Or maybe that's, I thought maybe this was the road, but this might be just lumber trash. It looks more like an old road up here on the side. Oh yeah, this is much better for at least as far as it goes. It's flat, it has a lot less slash and crap, so good start. Yeah, that makes for much better hiking. So this is our first geocache stop, and if this looks like a grave, it actually is. It's not human though. This is the final resting place of Cisco the dog, who was a 12-year-old German Shepherd, beloved pet of the cache hider. And this is where Cisco's remains were placed, and they did a really beautiful job of covering it up in rocks and building a nice little memorial here to Cisco the dog. Mabel appreciates it, even if she's not really paying attention. There we go. We've kind of found a bit more of an established trail here along this reclaimed, what I'm going to call reclaimed logging road. So I'm navigating using a really old version of the Topo Canada maps. And what I really love about those for hiking purposes, come on Mabel, keep moving, is the fact that they have not been updated in years. They're so old that they're still showing this as a road on the map. And while some people might say, why is having outdated information bad? It's because even if that road's been gone for decades, knowing that there was a road here at one point usually means it's going to make for easier navigation because it was typically flat and cleared at one point. And there has been many times out in the woods where we've been doing off-trail hiking and finding our own routes and using an old version of these, found an old road allowance and use that to hike back out. So I'm not necessarily opposed to old data. So this cache up at the top of the hill was hidden by BV Pete, who, if you've watched the channel for any length of time, you know is one of my favorite cache hiders. And there's two ways we can get at this. There is the straight up the hill from the road approach, or the approach we're taking, which is a little less steep but a little bit longer. And we're just following his directions, which basically said hike along this old road until you come to a gap in the cliffs, and then pick your way up to the top and follow your compass. So that's the approach we're taking. I think we're probably pretty close here to the spot he was talking about. All right, we're gonna pick our way up through the rocks here and see where we end up. This way, Mabel. Come up this side. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. This side. Over here. Head on up. That's the stuff. Ow. I'm caught on a branch. Oh my God. Okay, I'm free. All's good. We're alive. Taking a quick break. Catch our breath. Take some pictures. I know there will be some hardcore hikers who will disagree with this. But you know, it's not about how fast you get there. It's just about the fact that you're out there doing it. And that's the approach I've always taken to hiking is, it's not how fast you do it, it's the fact that you're doing it. And I mean, check out this view. I mean, it's kind of cloudy, it's kind of windy, so the light's not the greatest. But look at this, we're standing up on top of this little rock cliff here. We're just following game trails, working our way towards the cache. I think this is just a great spot, and just being out here in the woods, it's just a great way to spend some time. No better way to spend a day off than outdoors in the woods. There we go, we're under 400 meters to the cache. Still just kind of trucking along the top of this cliff band. But we got some nicer views of the mountains off to, I believe that's to the west here. As the trees get a little thinner, the views open up for us. So, absolutely loving this. Lots of evidence of wild horses. We haven't seen any yet on this trip. But you will remember, usually about once a year, we try and head up either here along Highway 66 to the Rainy Pass, or up the Forestry Trunk Road towards Sundry and the foothills that direction to look for wild horses. So, haven't seen any yet today, but we're not done yet. We're in the final push to this little summit of what I believe is an unnamed hill. No real reason to come up here if not for BV Pete's cache. But you can tell this is one of my favorite parts of a hike, is that final push to the summit. When you look up and above the trees, instead of seeing more trees, you see blue sky. You know your destination is in sight at that point. And we've been super fortunate so far. We've each felt a drop of rain, but it hasn't rained on us yet, although it is getting cloudier. It's not really hot. There's enough breeze that it's keeping us cool but not cold. It's like, if I could pick my weather for hiking each time, this would be what I'd select. Still along the top of this cliff band here, trying to find a more dog and DroneOCan friendly approach to the final summit up at the top there. I think we'll go this direction and through. It's easier for me to duck around short branches than it is for Mabel to jump over them and risk impaling herself on a pointy stick. Let's see, this is a funny looking rock formation. Yes, there we go. Success. Mission accomplished. Oh, thanks, Mapes. Oh, and there's still a finder's card in here too. And of course the hardest part is not having the dog's leash knock the entire cache all over and then having to pick up all the pieces. Oh, that's one card. We got the last finder's card. Just Another Little Summit by BV Pete. It's been here, it was hidden in 2016, published in 2017. So it took 5 years, but we got it. So, adding to the DroneOCan is an idiot collection. I just discovered after we found the cache that the external microphone fell off my backpack where I had it clipped. So what we're trying to do right now is, I know it was in an on position because I didn't want to keep fiddling with it. So we're just using the GPS, retracing our steps, and hoping that the camera on the DJI Pocket 2 will reconnect to the microphone when we get within range. So that's the plan for now, but I'm not optimistic.
Look what I found. I almost stepped on it. I looked down and there it was.
Is it actually turned on? Because I did not reconnect.
I think so. It has orange on the button.
I wonder if the battery's dead, because even now it doesn't show I'm connected to it. It just shows nothing. But what a great set of eyes.
Yes.
Because it never did reconnect to the handle, so I'm not sure why. Try turning it off and turning it back on and see if it reconnects. Yep, there, now it's reconnected and is using the external microphone. So I guess maybe that's a little bit of a DJI quirk. So I'm gonna have to test that at some point, but apparently, like, if the Pocket 2 gets out of range of the microphone and then comes back into range, it doesn't automatically reconnect the external microphone, at least according to this unplanned field test.
And now that we don't need to buy a new microphone and I found it, I think I deserve a new Kuma heated chair that I've been eyeing up.
Not sponsored. All right, so once again, armed with the remote mic, which I'm keeping in my pocket and not hanging here on my backpack every time. We're making our way to one last cache that's between here and the parking lot. So it's a different route down. This one is a little bit steeper, so I'll show you what we're dealing with here. So nice rock band here, but we're working our way down here. No real trail. I don't know if you can really get an appreciation for the steepness of this hillside from up here. But if I kind of come over here and show you this view, I think this shows it a little bit better. So very loose footing, no real trail. So I'm gonna put you guys back in my pocket along with the external microphone, and we'll catch up with you when we get down to the cache. It's only about 80 meters, but I don't know if you can see the highway in between those trees there. It's a long way to the bottom if you want to rock and roll, with apologies to AC/DC.
Steep with bad footing are things I do not like. Not sure what it was, actually.
Yeah, somebody scratched something in that rock. Mom, or yeah.
Something forever.
I can read the forever.
Mom.
I don't know, maybe it'll come through clearer on the video, but something forever.
It looks quite old.
Yeah, so a tribute from somebody, and right here, cache description said, "Buy the rock in the meadow," and underneath here is a suspicious looking pile of rocks. Probably a dead giveaway that there's going to be a cache hidden back here.
Oh, yeah.
And there it is, mission accomplished. And yeah, so we got that. I don't know how much more video I'm going to be able to capture. I see the battery on the camera is super low for some reason. I suspect it might be from doing a couple time lapses yesterday. Those little time-lapse videos really seem to suck down the battery on the camera, so I don't even have a way to, I guess I can charge the no, I didn't bring the cables to charge the camera because I'm like, oh, we're only out for a day, that's plenty of battery life. So in case this is the end, bye for now, thanks for coming along, and maybe if I have to, I'll record a little more video with my phone or something, but either way, thank you for watching. Okay, When I first started geocaching in late 2005, it seemed like everywhere we went, it was always wow, I had no idea this was here. I never would have found this if not for geocaching kind of moment. And it's been a long time since I've had one of these, but this cache here at Rainy Creek Falls is definitely in the category of, if it weren't for caching, I would have had no idea this was here. Check this out. So, little bit of falls there, not really that impressive. But if you look through there, there's a waterfall coming down kind of in behind. And I think I'm gonna leave Mabel here with Emily, and I'm gonna sneak across the creek and see if I can get a better look at the waterfall here. Now, a smart man would leave the camera on this side of the creek and not chance taking it over the water. But as you've probably discovered by now, I don't always make the best decisions. And that's the level of sacrifice we're prepared to go through for you here on the channel. All right. I mean, it's not really a cold... It's not really a cold day, so if I end up getting wet, that's not necessarily the worst thing. Just checking to see how slippery these rocks are. There we go. I made it. Okay, well, I made it that far. I'm going to go a little bit further. Big step here. All right. So as corny as it sounds, if I'm willing to go through that for you, the least you can do is hit the subscribe button for me. Check out the view of these falls right there behind me. This is just an amazing little grotto. I can only imagine if it was like, a 30-degree day. Coming down in here in the shade, you could walk along that edge there and basically get yourself right under the waterfall and have a very cold but very refreshing little shower. What a spot! And huge shout out to BV Pete for hiding a geocache down here so that we actually had a reason to come check this out, and for showing this spot to us. I mean, that's really what geocaching is all about, or should be all about, is, the rule of thumb I always used to use is I should never have to ask the question, why did you bring me to this spot? And as much as, parking lot micros and things like that are fun sometimes just to fill in a number, caching like this, I'd much rather do one cache like this than 150 caches that are just placed there because there was no other cache in that spot. So I'm going to get off the geocaching soapbox and just kind of let you enjoy the view from here. So thank you very much for watching. I know we said that earlier, but I squeezed a little more battery life out of the camera. And if you're seeing this, it means I made it back across the creek without dropping the camera in the water. So right on, go us. Thank you, see you in the next episode. It is morning. It's a little bit chilly today. Whoops. Ignore that.